back on Born Before 64 with Robert Nickell, and we're in your showroom.
Yes.
And what I wanted to do was introduce you again to my son-in-law, Patrick Gunderman.
Patrick, how are you?
And, you know, this is the reason why I come to California all the time. And I want to thank you for bringing me out to do TV shows. And, you know, Patrick actually invited me and Bill a couple years ago to come to the farm in South Dakota. And actually, Patrick, it wasn't a very cold winter there, was it?
No, you came on a fairly warm winter. It was in the 30s.
Right. And how old is the farm, Pat?
Farm has been in the family for 125 years.
Oh, wow. That
So we
nice.
had 9 people, Robert, 1 bathroom, 9 people. And Patrick did all the cooking the whole time we were there. So even Christmas dinner, right, Pat?
Yeah, I don't know why I've always cooked the turkey, and so then it just makes sense. You can't time everything.
Right.
So you know, my wife's lovely and always wants to help, and I'm like, but you can't. Because you can't start the gravy before the potatoes on, so you can't, you know, it's like, okay, if you can make the bread, fine. If you want to make some, you know, and there's only one stove.
It's an orchestra.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're conducting the orchestra, and you can only be one conductor, and it's got to go, it's got to sound and go exactly the way you need it to.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
So you do a lot of outdoor things with your kids, right?
we do, we try.
You hunt, you fish.
Yeah, there's more fishing. We have a paintball course.
Is this on the farm?
This is on the farm, yeah. So it's 8-acre farm, and there's a grove of trees where the grass is cut, and there's paths cut, and so we go out there with paintball guns and shoot at each other. Again, so you have to divide the things up. The girls aren't so much getting shot by paintballs because they think it hurts too much. The boys live for it. So you know, it's just different things. Although when my daughters were out here living with us, we went deep sea fishing. At my daughter's request, that's what she really wanted.
You didn't take me deep sea fishing yet.
My daughter had a bucket list of catching and eating her own fish.
Okay.
We did. We caught the fish.
You did?
Yes, we caught
Did
the
you
fish.
eat it?
And we ate the fish. We cooked it.
Right. See, I remember growing up with my grandfather who taught me how to fish and taught me how to find night crawlers. So we take a little flashlight and go out and find those worms. And I learned how to put it on the hook. And I learned how to fish. Do you think I have anybody except my son Jeff that likes to fish in my family? No. My husband doesn't like to go fishing. So I'm the fisherman.
And fishing is interesting because you have to know your area. So I grew up in upstate New York, and now I have South Dakota, and I fished here. At each location, and we're in Oregon, they're all different. So, I mean, the basics of fishing are the same, but you wouldn't use worms to catch salmon in Oregon. You're not allowed. So, and it's just, everyone's different, so you have to hook up with someone locally to learn the area of what you're fishing for and why. But it's still always fun. So.
And you do snow, what do you do in the snow time?
Well, I personally ski, but South Dakota actually has a lot of snow but not a lot of hills. So there's one ski slope and it's a hill, particularly compared to, you know, California hills. California skiing is a lot bigger developed, larger lifts. So like Jen and I went to Mammoth. I skied Mammoth with Jen. So Cassie,
That's where I grew up skiing.
Yeah,
It was Mammoth. Yeah,
that
was my learning ground.
That spoils you. that's good spoiled, just a tad.
Just a tad,
yeah,
really?
So that's pretty good skiing.
So what do you do with Cassie? Because, you know, they've been hiking with Cassie since she was a baby, a tiny baby.
Yeah, Cassie's been hiking since under 6 months. Jen has a pack that, you know, it's a big backpack thing. People always look at us funny because we're doing a day hike and she's got this huge pack on. And then as they pass us, they realize there's a baby in it, that it's not a tent, that it's actually the Cassie in the back. But she hikes now. She carries her own little pack and I'll actually walk. We still take the bigger one, you know, for longer hikes. You know, she's good for a mile, maybe a mile and a half.
And then what happens?
Then she goes in the pack.
She goes back in the pack. Now tell me, do you do any of those kind of things with your children?
Well, we don't really hike. We go to the beach. We like to go down to the beach and play. We go to the park, play. We go bike rides on Saturday mornings. Down to get breakfast. Yeah, you know, 4, 2.5, and 1. We're just busy all the time. I don't know what it is.
Right.
Yeah, so we don't necessarily do that. We travel a lot, so they're all great flyers. They can easily fly for six hours on a flight.
Right. So you went to New York recently. They all came with you.
Yes.
So that's kind of what you do.
That's kind of what we do.
And that's kind of different. I mean, I love doing that with my family. You know, taking them with me. I mean, Bill comes with me all the time. He's my family right now, but you know what I mean. And he lost.
Doesn't have a choice.
He has no choice, right? So anyhow, but you know, I used to travel with my kids all the time. And it was just, if it was going overseas or what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, and after a while they get used to it. I remember when Cassie was a baby, she used to scream a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, you take a very young baby in a plane, it's going to be a long flight.
I think Patrick's philosophies and yours are very much the same. Tell me what you feel, you know, because there's a lot of kids today that that don't get discipline. That and I'm not talking about sparing the rod or any of that kind of stuff. I'm saying that when you were talking earlier today, and we were talking at the lunch table, we were talking about consistency, communication, and there's the 4 C's, right?
Correct.
And discipline comes into that part of it because you really believe
discipline's in all of them.
In all
you have
of
to be
them.
consistent in your discipline. You have to communicate your discipline. Your discipline needs to be within the box of control. Probably creativity is the only one you don't have discipline in.
That's true.
Right?
You don't want him to be disciplined in that. Right?
Creativity, go. You want to build a mountain out of the sofa? Go ahead.
Right. Well, you know, it's really funny
Just
because
clean up afterwards.
right, it's really funny because when I was in Asia, I used to teach children, especially Asian children, and I found that their parents would hover over them and not let them make a mistake. And finally, because I was teaching a course, you know, in a big trade center, and I finally said, parents, you've got to go. Leave your kids with me. Nothing's going to happen. They're safe. But you need to go because I need them to go outside the lines. I don't want them doing things inside the line, especially in creativity, because they'll never be creative if you do that to them.
Right.
I was always more, not scared, but scared of my dad. When my dad's voice rose, I knew it. And it's funny because I have to tell you that it was the same thing with my children and my husband. And even his employees, right? They know he's a nice guy, but he has a look about him that would scare even me.
And I get that sometimes too. And I don't even mean to give it off, but I'm so distracted or my brain is somewhere else. And like even I think with you today, you're like, are you okay? Are we okay? Are we doing this? And I was like, no, just because I have so much going on in my head.
Right.
You know, trying to get it all done as far as the employer-employee side. But I think the other side too that you're talking about, the dad, like being afraid of your dad. That's another dad thing that we have. And it's not like a Jedi mind trick, but it's kind of like it's the daddy mind trick. You know,
Really?
and my wife uses that. She goes, your dad's going to be home at 5 and he's not going to be happy. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know nothing, but it's that's almost enough to get him in line.
That's true.
Right.
And I mean, when you're dealing with, I was the oldest of 7, so I was really, when my mom went to work, I was it. And I had to have their respect or they would run all over me and jump out windows and do all kinds of other things.
Right.
So, you know, it was like being this authoritative person. And even on field trips and stuff like that, my kids invited me to be on, I always got to be that authority, you know. So maybe in a sense I kind of get what dads are all about, you know what I mean? And, you know, what I thought was so cool about Robert and his products and his theme and everything else is that he really thought it out on what dads really want. And we're going to show it on this show. Some of the products that you have. We're going to look at the the daddy bag.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was the coolest idea of a backpack, a black backpack.
Well, you know, you're going to take the baby out for a walk, and as you're going almost to the door, mom says, "Don't forget the diaper bag." And you're like, "What?" And there's this pink flowered thing that you got to hang on the back of the stroller, and now you're walking it. And everybody looks at you like, "Okay, there's the dad walking the baby, and you know he had to take mommy's diaper bag." Right. You know, so what I like to have is I just have my own bag. It says "Daddy" on the bag. It's a daddy diaper pack. It has all the pockets in it for the stuff that I need because I only need to pack for 2 or 3 hours. My wife's diaper bag is packed for DEFCON 5. Nuclear attack. 2-week vacation. I don't know what it is, but there's so much stuff in there I can't find anything if I want to.
Right.
Again, that's a man-woman thing. So my diaper bag has in it what I need in it. And then I like a backpack. Because you take a messenger bag and you try to put a messenger bag, a guy, we don't carry purses, we're not used to that.
Right.
And it falls off my shoulders, it hits the ground, it opens up, it doesn't stay closed. With a backpack, I got both hands free, I can do anything I want.
So you've got a water bottle in there.
Got a water bottle in there, we got a daddy hook in there, we got straps on there that you can hang beach towels on, or toys, or wet clothes. There's a back side that is wipeable surface. If you have something you got, it's soiled that you got to bring home, you can stick it in there. There's a spot for the sunglasses, a spot for your wallet, a spot for snacks.
It's got everything.
It's got what dads need.
What guys
want.
That's right. The other thought, the other thing that you originally sent me when we first started working with Jada Scrubs was the bag that goes with the books in the back of the trunk bag.
Right, trunk bag.
And I really kind of like that a lot. Mm-hmm. Because Patrick brings different things for Cassie than Jennifer does. Is that right?
Oh, definitely. Like I say, the diaper bag's always different. I loaded the diaper bag once and had it set perfectly. It was next time she went somewhere, I was like, "Where'd everything go?" Right. Well, I took that out. We didn't need that.
Right.
That was diaper wipes. No, you got the wrong box.
Right.
I was like,
I loaded my bag and I put the diaper wipes in there, and I expect them to be in there so that they're there. Right? They're not the borrowable. They're not the loaners.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't. Well, the thing is, you get a lot more done if you don't have to check. Right?
Absolutely.
You grab your bag and go.
Go.
That's probably 10 minutes of free time you just gained at the beach. So because you can just go.
Right. That's what guys think.
Yeah.
Do you have a daddy tent yet?
A daddy tent? Not yet. It's definitely on the list. We have a daddy beach towel on the list, a huge beach ball that's on the list. We're going to do sandcastle. You know when you go to the store and you buy the sandcastle building? Things that are like this big for kids? Yeah. So we're doing this in adult size. So it's like this, the exact same toys.
Really?
In molded plastic in a big size. How fun is that, right?
Yeah.
And you can take both of them down to the beach, and you got this huge bucket and a huge shovel, and the kids have their smaller ones to deal with, and
that's
it's
cool.
Gonna be fun.
I like that. Right? I love making sandcastles and with kids, and I love being at the beach. And Cassie does too, doesn't she? She's a real beach girl.
She was in the water this week.
Oh, yeah. We have to tell this story.
Those on the East Coast don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
sorry.
Tell us what she did.
Oh, we after lunch we took a walk on the beach, and so they were just going to get their feet wet. My wife was in the water with them. And then they start running in and out with the waves.
Right,
so sure
they
enough,
splashed a little bit.
They splashed a little bit, and the next thing you know, the wave catches her, and she's down and soaked. Absolutely soaked.
And she had her good dress on.
Yes. In fact, that was the day you guys got here, because she was wearing the dress you were supposed to see. You were supposed to see when you got here, which you didn't get to see because it had to be changed.
Yeah. And do you have toys for the bathtub yet for them?
We have a rubber duck.
Rubber ducky?
So far, and we have a bathtub book that's made out of the plastic material.
Oh, good.
It's called, I think it's Rub-a-Dub Ducky or something,
right.
Something like that. And it's a book about a dad, doing the bubble bath with his a daddy duck doing a bubble bath with his ducklings.
Well, she that's one thing Cassie really likes to do, isn't it? She loves the bathtub.
I've not met a kid. I mean, almost all kids love to play in that. If they get the time to play.
If they get the time to play. And she does. And she really likes that time that she's in there. And if you take her out before she thinks it's time, she screams. She's not a happy kid. So, I think that your products are really cool because you really think about the kid as well as the dad in there.